You don't talk about it, but it bothers you every day. You're in a conversation and you can feel it. The other person's eyes glazing over, the forced smiles, the awkward silences. You're trying to be interesting, but somehow you're not, and you don't know why. Here's the thing. You're not boring. You just haven't learned the rules of engaging conversation, and nobody teaches this stuff. Don't worry, you're not alone. Most people struggle with this. They think interesting people are just born that way. But here's the good news. Being interesting is a skill, and like any skill, you can learn it. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 simple shifts that will make you instantly more engaging in any conversation. And if you stick around till the end, I'll share the one question that never fails to keep conversations alive. Here's why most people struggle. They think being interesting means talking about impressive things, so they brag, they overshare, they monopolize the conversation, and people tune out. Think of conversation like ping pong. If you just keep serving without letting the other person hit back, it's not a game anymore. It's just you showing off, and nobody wants to watch that. And here's the cost. You end up lonely. People avoid deep conversations with you. You're invited to things, but people don't really connect with you, and you can't figure out what you're doing wrong. That's why these 3 shifts matter. They transform you from someone people tolerate to someone people actually want to talk to. In this video, I'm going to share 3 principles that make people interesting, not fake charisma tricks, real shifts in how you show up in conversations. These work whether you're shy, extroverted, or anywhere in between. And the best part? You can start using them today. Shift 1. Ask better questions. Most people ask boring questions. How are you? What do you do? Surface level, safe, forgettable. And the conversation dies before it starts. Your questions are like keys. Boring questions open boring doors. Interesting questions open interesting doors. When you ask surface-level questions, you get surface-level answers, and nobody remembers surface-level conversations. Here's what works instead. Ask questions that make people think. What's something you're excited about right now? What's been challenging lately? If you could change one thing about your week, what would it be? These questions dig deeper. They show you actually care. The golden rule? Ask questions you'd actually want to answer. I once knew someone who was terrible at small talk, but she'd ask, "What's the best part of your day so far?" And people would light up. They'd share real stories, and suddenly she wasn't awkward anymore. She was the person everyone wanted to talk to. When you ask better questions, people don't just talk, they open up, and that's when real connection happens. Shift 2. Listen like you mean it. Most people don't listen, they wait for their turn to talk. They're planning their next story while you're still speaking, and you can feel it. It's obvious, and it kills the conversation. Listening is like being a detective. You're not just hearing words, you're noticing what matters to them, what lights them up, what they're avoiding. When you truly listen, you catch details others miss, and those details become the foundation of real connection. Here's the system. When someone's talking, focus on one thing. What are they really saying? Not just the words, the emotion behind them. Then respond to that. It sounds like that was frustrating. You seem really passionate about that. Show you're paying attention. The golden rule, respond to feelings, not just facts. A friend of mine used to dominate every conversation. Then he started actually listening. He'd pause before responding. He'd reference things people said earlier. Within weeks, people started seeking him out. Same person, different approach, completely different results. When you listen like you mean it, people feel seen. And when people feel seen, they remember you. Shift 3. Share stories, not facts. Most people share information. I went to this place. I studied this thing. Facts. Data. Boring. People forget facts, but they remember stories. Your life is like a movie. Facts are the credits. Stories are the scenes. Nobody watches a movie for the credits. They want the scenes, the moments, the emotions. When you share stories instead of facts, you give people something to connect with. Here's how. Don't say, "I went hiking last weekend." Say, "I went hiking last weekend and got completely lost. Ended up finding this hidden waterfall by accident." See the difference? One's a fact, the other's a story. The golden rule, add one detail that makes it memorable. I remember when someone asked about my weekend, I used to say, "It was good." Conversation over. Now I say, "I tried cooking and nearly set off the fire alarm. My neighbors probably think I'm a disaster." People laugh. They share their own cooking fails. The conversation flows. When you share stories, you don't just inform people, you invite them in, and that's what makes you interesting. Now, here's what most people miss. Being interesting isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. You're going to ask questions that fall flat. You're going to share stories that don't land. That's normal. That's part of learning. The difference between people who connect and people who don't isn't talent, it's effort. When you genuinely care about the conversation, people feel it, and that alone makes you more interesting than most. So let's recap. 3 shifts. Ask better questions, listen like you mean it, share stories, not facts. So here's my challenge. Pick one, just one. Which shift will you try in your next conversation? Comment below and let me know. I read every comment and I genuinely want to hear which one resonates with you. If this video helped you see conversation differently, hit that like button and subscribe because I break down social skills like this every single week. Share this with someone who's tired of boring small talk. They'll thank you for it. Remember this, you don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You just need to be the most present. Now go have a real conversation.